Fish and Chums!
Hi everybody, old Gare here with my favorite fishing buddy, Tuffy. We're still out in the desert. Tuffy's getting a little bit hot. Hey, sorry I wasn't with you last week, but I took the week off, my birthday week, and went out to Las Vegas. Marla and I went out there, had a great time, and I'm still out here in the desert southwest. Great fishing out here. You know, they have Lake Mead that goes over the Hoover Dam and goes into Lake Mojave, and then there's a dam at Laughlin, falls into the Colorado River, and eventually goes not too far from here at Havasu Lake, and then it falls into Parker Dam and goes into the Colorado River. So that's just kind of setting you up to where we're at today. Beautiful, beautiful area out here. Love the desert, especially in the middle of the summer. All right, let's, like I said, we've got some good reports for you. Are you hot, Tuffy? He's hot. Okay, there you go, buddy. You know, I've got a good report for you. Although I'm out in the southwest, I've been getting all kinds of reports from the Ozarks. I check with my reporters, I check on the internet, and I tell you what, things look good for the upcoming weekend. You know why? Because that water temperature is really dropping in the Ozarks. All of our Ozark lakes, it's been cool at night. We've had a little bit of rain at times, and it's really dropped that water temperature. In fact, one of my reporters today said it was 75 degrees this morning when he went out early. And then it's been creeping up to around 77, 78, some people saying in mid-afternoon 80 degrees. But anyway, boy, that early morning fishing has been good in the Ozarks. And so we've got a lot to talk about. Had a good report yesterday of a limit of crappie, a couple limits being caught of crappie out of Stockton. I've had a report from Truman. The crappie fishing has been a little slower. We'll be talking about this. And good reports from Bull Shoals and Table Rock. All right, let's go. First of all, I tell you what, let's go to Bull Shoals. Jordan Isaacs was fishing in a kayak recently below Powerside Dam. You know where Powerside Dam's at. Been a lot of big fish caught out in Powerside Dam. There's been lake record stripers over 65 pounds. There's been big walleye in the 19, 20 pound range caught out there. Been huge brown trout, rainbows, big white, a lot of big fish can be caught at Powerside Dam. Jordan was out there recently, and he was fishing a Storm King kicker lure, and he caught a 15-pound striper. A little bit later, he picked up a 14-pounder, and then a little bit later, he picked up a huge fish. When he set that hook, that fish drug his kayak, an 11-foot kayak, for about a half-a-mile run down the lake at Bull Shoals. And it ended up weighing, I think, 58 pounds. Not a state record, but it is this, if my facts are right. It's a world record, striped bass being caught in a kayak. He got a certificate for that. So congratulations, Mr. Isaacs. What a fish. God bless you. Nice picture, nice picture. All right, let's go. Since we're talking about Bull Shoals, I'm going to do something different today. I'm going to talk kind of a comparison between Bull Shoals and Table Rock. That's always kind of fun to do. Now, if you want to go have some topwater action this weekend, I would go to Bull Shoals. That's more consistent. They're picking up topwater fish at Table Rock, but it's not as consistent as Bull Shoals. And the top bait at Bull Shoals in the morning and evening hours, especially morning hours, I would go to a buzzbait. I had good reports of buzzbait. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago on the program. That buzzbait on the points, secondary points, especially with a little brush and timber and some stick-ups, you know, pitch that buzzbait out alongside the bank and bounce it off some of these tree limbs and trunks and so forth. You'll catch some fish. Good topwater fishing at Bull Shoals. Table Rock, one day they'll be good. Next day, I had a friend fishing the other day, a guide. He had a party out about 3 days ago. Picked up a real nice, lot of good action on topwater. Went the next day, couldn't wait to get out there, never hardly had a bite. So that's just the way it is at Table Rock. But Table Rock, with junior spooks have been working, and also they've been picking up some fish on pop-Rs. Pop-Rs are good over at Bull Shoals as well. So that's one good thing about this time of the year. Even if they're not running real good at Table Rock, always keep topwater bait at your fingertips, because you never know when those things are going to bust up. You always have one ready, that's for sure. Getting back to Bull Shoals on the bass fishing after the sun gets out. They've been going out on the long gravel points. They're still picking up some fish on drop shots. But I tell you what, if you have a real bluebird day like it is out here today, fishing's tough, go to the Ned rig, folks, both at Bull Shoals and Table Rock. When it's tough, go to the Ned rig. Anywhere from 15 to 25, 30, 32 feet of water. Use your electronics on these long points. Find some shad, bait fish, find some fish, some activity near the bottom. You'll catch some fish on that Ned rig, I promise you. And they're still picking up some fish at both Bull Shoals and Table Rock on slab spoons. Yeah, they're working. And they've been picking up some fish on football jigs. A half-ounce football jigs are going to work on Bull Shoals and Table Rock this weekend. Put your favorite dressing on it. You can drag these off the shallow points, the deeper points. This has been working. Some people have been flipping that brown jig up around some of the shaded docks. The brown football jigs will work on Bull Shoals and Table Rock this weekend, that's for sure. And I've had reports of some crappie being caught at Bull Shoals around some of the shaded docks and around some of the deeper water brush piles. They're not catching a lot of crappie, but the ones that they are catching are really nice size. Get that minnow down there. Minnows have been better. You'll pick up some crappie perhaps this weekend. And crappie, say walleye fishing at Bull Shoals has been pretty good the last few days. They're using bottom bouncers with night crawlers. Also, they've been picking up some fish, just kind of dragging small jigs with the night crawler off some of the points. And they've been picking up some walleye out there by just using crankbaits, deep diving crankbaits off some of the points. So we might pick up a big old walleye this weekend at Bull Shoals. Same way at Table Rock, still getting some on and off reports. Up the White River, they've been picking up some walleye still the last few days. Maybe not big numbers, but the fish they're catching are real nice size. You can use flutter spoons anywhere from 18, 20, 25, 30, 32 feet of water. Just look at your graphs. And they've been picking up some fish on, like I said, flutter spoons. They've been picking up some fish on bottom bouncers with night crawlers. And some people have been trolling deep diving baits off some of these points. So that may be good. Crappie, I've had some reports. Crappie has been fair up in the upper end of the James River arm around some of the deeper docks, especially the shaded docks that have some brush around it. I've had some good reports up around Cape Fair, so you may want to check this out. Minnows have been the best overall bait. So Bull Shoals Table Rock looks pretty darn good this weekend, that's for sure. Okay, let's go over to Stockton Lake. My guys have had good reports out there the last few days. In fact, look at this photo. Congratulations to Sherman Hudson. He was out just yesterday, picked up a double limit, he and his partner, a beautiful crappie. And he was just fishing the flats, just using his electronics, I'm sure, just easing back and forth on the flats, finding brush piles, finding some bait fish in the area, using minnows. He caught this limit of fish. Beautiful, beautiful crappie. Walleye fishing has been pretty good at Stockton. Slowed down a little bit, but they have been picking up some walleye off the points, anywhere from 18, 25, 30 feet of water. Bottom bouncers and night crawlers. They've been trolling deep diving baits. That's been pretty good. And they've fluttered some spoons out there, picked up some walleye as well. White bass fishing at Stockton's been good. They've been picking up some fish, of course, when they're schooling, in the morning hours and evening hours. Just about anything will work. Had a buddy of mine out the other day on a rattle trap. Just killed him on a rattle trap. They've been picking up fish also on just jigs or roadrunner type baits as well. So check this out for the weekend. Over at Truman, we've had mixed report at Truman. Some people are just really having a hard time finding the crappie. Other people are getting out there and finding them. And they've been picking up some fish on the ledges of the flats. Not so much out in the shallow flats, but if you can find a brush pile or some trees right on the ledge of the flats, get out there and experiment on your depth. Minnows have been the best overall bait. And I had a buddy out the other day fishing the deep end tree rows, the big old tree rows, and picked up some crappie as well. And they've been picking up some white bass. At times they've been schooling. Always have a little jig or a roadrunner type bait ready when the fish come up, these white bass. And they're still picking up a few hybrids on the humps and the points out there as well. Bass fishing at Bull Shoals, Truman, has been fairly good. Square bill crankbait, we've been talking about that the last couple of weeks. Plastic worms have been working. So looks like Truman may be good for the weekend. You may have to hunt for those crappie But you find them, you'll catch them, that's for sure. Once again, minnows, the best overall bait. Other than that, a quick report. We've had a report at Lake the Ozark, same old story. They're picking up some fish in the shaded docks, especially with a little brush, minnows, and off the main lake points. Find some brush piles off the points, get a minnow down there. They've been picking up some fish. Lake Norfolk, hey, they had some limits of walleye caught out there the last few days on the edge of the flats. And spoons have been working, and also night crawlers. Some people have been going back in the creek areas and picking up some fish out there as well. Once in a while, they're picking up a big old striper at Norfolk. That's about it for the day. I want to thank you very much for being with us. My gosh, be sure to like and share and join our team. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Tell your friends about our show, and we'd really appreciate that. And if you'd like to send us a photo or any fishing information, go to our Gmail or email us at fishandchums@gmail.com. That's our show for the day. Water temperature's dropping, fish are biting. Get out there this weekend. Happy outdoors, everyone. See you next week.